Uh-oh, here we go.
This is a Fox News alert.
Fox
Kathleen
News.
Maloney, former Vice President Dick Cheney has died at the age of 84. Fox's Lillian Wu reports.
Dick Cheney, chosen by George W. Bush in 2000 as his running mate.
I accept your nomination to provide the United States.
He served from 2001 to 2009 under President Bush, where he played a central role in the administration's war on terror and was considered by many political observers to be the most influential vice president in recent history. He'd also served as Secretary of Defense under President George H.W. Bush and been President Ford's White House Chief of Staff.
Cheney died of complications of pneumonia as well as cardiac and vascular disease. The race for governor.
You know, I gotta wonder, this guy, I mean, it's my opinion, you know, it depends on what side of the political spectrum you sit on. But, I mean, I have to ask, did they screw that guy in the ground? Because to me, he was crooked as heck. Isn't that the guy who, like, shot, like, a friend in the face and killed him or something like this while duck hunting, and he got off on it? Big player in the Iraq wars. You know, and all that, we know that turned out, what that turned out, or how that turned out to be. Just totally useless, fake, unnecessary wars. I mean, You know, and it's crazy because they always say the good die first. So why so many bad people are here. Crazy stuff. Anyway, inna lillahi wa inna alayhi raji'un. Good riddance.
Governor of Virginia features two women, one of whom will make history as the first female to lead the state. Republican Winsome Earl Sears, currently the state's lieutenant governor, makes a final pitch to voters.
I'm going to make sure you keep as much of your own money in your pocket because you worked hard for it. So taxes are going to be lower. You're going to be safe and secure in your own homes. We know how to do this.
I'm sorry. Who believes that? Like the government is going to lower taxes. I don't believe that. You know, the government, they're like, I don't know how to explain this property. They're like lost territory. I don't even know if that's the right example. Lost territory, it's gone. They don't give it back. You got to take it back. You know? Once they get something, they don't go back on it. Income tax in the United States was supposed to be a temporary thing during wartime. Income tax isn't that old. Yeah, well, that emergency wartime income tax, now it's a permanent thing that takes like a whole bunch of your money. The government, once they find out they can get something, they don't back off of it. They come back for more. So who believes that? They'll tell you anything to get in office, man. People got to stop believing these like politicians. Everybody's acting like, you know, politics and politicians are like, you know, blue and red, Republican, Democratic, or whatever is going on in your country, labor, or whatever the opposite of labor is. I don't know. They act like that's their sports team. And it's like, you ain't even on a sports team, dude. So you definitely are on a political team. These dudes are liars, and they're going to lie to you. They're all out for each other. They look out for each other. Because even the Democrats know that they've got to get their bread and butter from the Republicans when the Republicans are in power, and the Republicans know they got to get their bread and butter when the Democrats are in power. They have to cooperate and work together. So stop believing the hype like these dudes are your friends, man. I don't know why people would believe anything a politician says. You know, and then why does it matter that she's the first female governor? How does that? Does that change entire policy or something? What does that have to do with the politics? Politics and government are based upon constitution, laws, and these types of things. What's having a vag got to do with that? What does your genitalia have to do with state and governmental law? Because that's what you as the governor do. You run the state according to the laws and within the boundaries of the law. What's black or white or whatever else got to do with any of that? It makes no sense whatsoever. Dudes just be saying stuff. This is the first female governor. Oh, okay. Wow, she's got a vag and tits. That's gonna... Bro, we're gonna make it. What? I don't know. When they say these things, I don't understand what that means. I really don't know what that means. What does that mean? You a good governor or you a bad governor? I don't know. What kind of job are you going to do? What does you having a vag have to... What? I don't get it, man. Whatever.
We're not going to defund the police. We're not going to get rid of their qualified immunity. And then, of course, we're going to make sure we continue to create jobs.
Democratic candidate Abigail Spanberger is a vocal critic of President Trump and sees this election as an opportunity to send a message to Washington, D.C. The race for governor of New Jersey is being closely watched. Fox's Gernal Scott with the latest.
Democrat Mikey Sherrill could become the first female Democrat to become New Jersey governor. She said...
Here we go again. What does her genitals and ability to give kids milk have to do with being a governor? Is this going to make her intrinsically better at being a governor because she's got ovaries and can make milk randomly? Well, it's not random, you know, when she gets pregnant. But it's like, what? Can you just stop saying dumb stuff, please? I wish they would. Because, like, when I hear this, it's like, all I hear is, you have no merit whatsoever. So we got to sell you on something else. Hey, she's not good at her job, but look, she's a woman. Woo! And it's like, is that what it is? Is the women go like, yeah, wow, a woman. And they don't really think about, like, whether or not this person's good at, like, what am I supposed to think when you say this and it's about politics? It annoys me when I hear it.
In Union City Monday, she'll need every vote to do it.
This is an important election. We're going to win this with your help, and we're going to get out the vote, and we're going to make real change.
Over in Neptune City Monday, Republican Jack Ciattarelli hopes his third run will pay off.
Ciattarelli has the backing of President Trump. This is the first major election since he reclaimed the White House.
Well, you know what that means. Ciattarelli's going to win. And not because it's President Trump is President Trump. President Trump, President Trump, what did he do? He put on a little yarmulke hockey, didn't he? He put on a little hat. So we know what's up with that. And we know how U.S. politics run. It's not whether or not you have good policies and politics and, you know, and plans for the future of the nation. No, it's if you go and, you know, put on that little hat and kiss the wall. So looks like it's over for you, sister. The milk and ovaries, the milk and eggs ain't gonna help you on this one.
America's listening to Fox News.
Na, im Park aus dem Beton geknutscht? Oder gab's zu Rush Hour einen lauten Knall und Sprüche, die keiner braucht?
It's a commercial.
Zum Glück kann dir das ja egal sein. Denn du weißt, wie gut es ist, eine gute Versicherung zu haben. Wie die Kfz-Versicherung deiner WGV. Die schließlich richtig gut im Preis und Leistung.
Oh, yes, I can skip
This
it.
Tech Check briefing is sponsored by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos, and this is your CNBC Tech Check briefing. OpenAI has signed a $38 billion deal with Amazon Web Services and will immediately begin accessing GPUs through the Amazon cloud.
Okay.
It marks a significant move away from Microsoft, which was OpenAI's exclusive cloud provider until earlier this year.
Interesting.
The partnership gives OpenAI more flexibility as the company rushes to scale up infrastructure. Meanwhile, Microsoft says it has secured export licenses to ship NVIDIA chips to the United Arab Emirates in a move that could accelerate the Gulf's AI ambitions. It's the first company to secure the license under the Trump administration and enable Microsoft to ship more than 60,000 additional chips. The news sending NVIDIA shares higher today.
Now, I'm just curious. I don't know. I'm not criticizing them, you know. I might want to live in the UAE, so don't misunderstand me. But it's like, what are the AI ambitions of the UAE? I don't really know. I talked about this in the earlier newscasting. It's like, I don't see where AI is going in the sense, because right now it's being abused. And when I say it's being abused in order to, like, you know, sell people's political agendas with fake videos, their race and ethnicity agendas with fake videos. One thing that I see, it's pretty funny, is like fake ghost and cats fighting lions videos and these types of things, and the chupacabra coming to attack some kid in the front yard at night. I don't know why the kid's in the front yard at night. Yes, this is a video. And then, you know, the dog does some kung fu kick and it's pretty funny stuff. But other than like security, what is it being used for in a way that benefits the average person? All these AI, you can ask anybody who's applying for jobs and work in this modern age and 2025 coming up on 2026 if they've ever run into an AI agent for their resume, if it's gone well for them. Companies like, oh, we can't find qualified people, and people are like, I can't get a job. And what's in the middle? AI HR. Okay, human HR isn't much better, to be honest, but someone explain it to me so that I understand. Like, what's it being used for? That's like a direct benefit to the average person every day. It's where governments need to be investing like huge amounts of money into AI. I don't know. I don't understand. It's an honest question, because I use AI for programming. I make programs. I write programs now. But really, it's like, other than that, I don't understand it. Like, why is it a big profitable thing? Maybe it's profitable because, I do pay X premium, and then I use Grok for the programming. So maybe that's how they make money, is maybe that's the profitability. Someone explain it to me, because otherwise, other than these really small things, and I can even do the programming without paying the X subscription fee. I just got to be more patient because I have to wait for like the limits to run out so I can come back and start the programming again. But I prefer not to do that because I use it professionally. So I don't know. Someone explain it to me so I understand this big AI revolution, where it's going and where all this money, why everybody's so hot about it. I can see some limited uses to it, and they are beneficial, but it's limited. I see well, anyway, I don't want to turn this big thing into an AI talk, but I saw some uses in medicine where like it's examining x-rays and whatnot, and actual doctors were saying like, hey, this thing is pretty impressive, it'll put me out of a job. Like x-ray examiners, they were like, this thing can spot accurately, cancers and tumors and x-rays that would take me 2 or 3 days, it can spot it in seconds. So stuff like that, yeah, sure, fair. Maybe, okay, fair. Maybe making these types of machines, these x-ray machines, they build it in there automatically, whatever else. I don't know. So anyway, someone explain it to me, because there's this big, huge hype, and on average, I don't really see the overall, like, just wow, bang, oh my gosh, we need to really, like, put billions upon billions in this when we have other problems, and that AI is not going to solve, but these problems are here right now and real in our face. I don't know if throwing money at it will fix them, but I don't know, maybe AI can fix them with some crazy thinking. Who knows? Help me out here, guys. Explain it to me.
That's all for today. See you back here tomorrow.
Okay.
Is tech.
This is DW News, and these are our top stories. Voters in New York City are choosing a new mayor. The election is attracting attention as the favorite is leftist Democrat Zoran Mamdani, a socialist who says that he will raise taxes on the rich to pay for free buses and childcare. U.S. President Donald Trump has
Mamdani, man, that guy. If you're Muslim and you back that guy, you just as suspect as him. And I'm not saying suspect like they're all calling him like he's gonna bring in Sharia, he's a terrorist, this, that. We all know he ain't gonna do any of that stuff. That guy's like, he's as liberal as he comes. That dude popped up in a gay bar. Come on, man. We all look at that. Don't look at his wife, but look at his wife. His wife is. We don't know if she's like. I don't know if she's advertising her OnlyFans or if she's. What's she doing? How's she dressing? That woman's all over the place. So I don't know, man. We know, and anybody who's got their masculinity intact, who's even got a modicum of masculinity left in him. Tell me honestly, you don't get that vibe from that dude? Like, you just like, yeah, that dude ain't right. If you don't get that vibe from that guy, be you Muslim or non-Muslim, something's wrong with you. That guy, something ain't right with that guy. I don't know what it is, man. He just got that. I've never been to New York City, but he's got that smell about him. Yeah, I can just smell it. Something ain't right with him. Why is it when I'm in that lane, there's no echo, but when I'm in this lane, there's an echo? Who can scientifically explain that to me? What the heck is that? If I go in that lane, there's no echo. Right now, I got a little echo inside this car. And if I go in that lane, I'm about to try this out in a second. What? We're going right behind this car, and I'm going to go back over here and see. So, what? Oh, no, the echo's here. Okay. So why does it disappear sometimes? What's the science on that? Anyway, whatever. My Mamdani or whatever his name is, my boy, I don't know. He I don't know. He kind of
Forced his rival, Andrew Cuomo, and has threatened to cut funds to the city if Mamdani wins.
All right, so Trump says if Mamdani wins, he's going to cut funds to the city. Trump's another one, man. This dude, I mean, he's gone just straight out like small hat, hasn't he? I don't know, man. It's like you can't just be making up rules. Say, oh, you know, if that guy wins, I'm taking away the money, and if my guy wins, I'm going to give you money. Is that how government works? Dude's just out here just saying and doing whatever, and it's like, you know, you can't do that. There's laws. You can't just be making it up as you go along. I get it. Trump likes to just push things, and he likes to, you know, act like he's the boss and all that type of stuff. But it's like there are limits, man. Come on, dude. Just stop saying stuff because you want to say something. You want to seem like you're tough. Like sending troops to Nigeria and all that type of stuff. You ain't doing any of that, man. Shut up. So tiring. And then Americans fall for it, you know? It's like, what did Trump say? We're gonna win so much. You're gonna get so tired of winning. Like you feel like you're winning? How many more wins can you take, guys? Because it looks to me like a win in your book, it looks like a kick to the face. How many more can you take before your nose is broken? I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. Just Trump need to shut up, man. This dude, he talks too much.
Officials in the Philippines say that more than 24 people have been killed as Typhoon Kalmegi sweeps across the country. The storm made landfall early on Tuesday, causing torrential rain and packing winds of more than 150 kilometers per hour. Kalmegi has weakened since making landfall, but is expected to reach Vietnam on
there's
Friday.
construction.
North Korean state media have announced the death of the former ceremonial head of state. Kim Jong-nam died of multiple organ failure at 97. Television showed leader Kim Jong-un paying respects. Kim Jong-nam was not related to the ruling Kim dynasty, but served them for decades in top positions.
What were you doing at 97 years old? Or was he retired and they're just giving him his honorary title, like this was the title he held while he was working? Did you die behind the desk at 97 years old? This dude was working till 97? I haven't seen a single 97-year-old that I would like trust with any sort of like responsibility, grandkids, let alone some sort of government position where it's like you ruling over type of stuff. But I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I gotta look this one. I'm gonna have to Google this one. If this dude was like actually like, was he working when he died? Like 97 years old. Oh, let me sign this before. I hope not, man. Whew, I hope not. And don't let the German government hear this, because they'll be like, oh, well, that guy worked till 97 years old. You guys can retire at 95, okay? And then that'll give you partial retirement, maybe 25% of what you used to make, if that. German government will start getting ideas if they hear something like this. Actually, this is Deutsche Welle. This is German radio. So we're cooked, man. We're cooked in Germany.
This is DW News from Berlin. You can get more news on our website at dw.com.
Nobody's going to the DW website, man. Come on. Any more news? How do I get back to that menu? This car is new. It's my new car, so I don't know. I don't really know how to handle this thing. Or crash. Nope. Here we are. We want to listen to CNBC. Do we listen to that? Let's listen. Let's see what they say. No, we didn't.
I'm Jessica Ettinger, CNBC. Wall Street's in the red on this election day morning. The Dow down 150 points. That's 0.3%. The S&P 500 index is now down 48 points. That's a little more than 0.5%. The NASDAQ falling 243 points now. That's a little more than 1%. Voters are making governor choices in Virginia and New Jersey. Other key races are in New York and California. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told CNBC today that the White House has a backup plan if the Supreme Court finds that President Trump does not have the power to impose tariffs without congressional approval, which is what's happened. The White House declared emergencies and then declared tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act.
There are lots of other authorities that can be used, but IEEPA is by far the cleanest, and it gives the U.S. and the president the most negotiating authority. The others are more cumbersome, but they can be effective, less. It hinders the president's negotiating ability to be able to protect the American people and the American economy.
Yeah, but my understanding of this act is, because this is an emergency act, it's only valid for like 15 days, I think. It's not long. So it's like, okay, because I don't know if any of you guys know, all these tariffs that Trump is like putting on other countries, they're technically, there's no legal precedence for it. So now they're like, okay, you even supposed to be doing this? You know, like, under what law are you doing this? Under like what right, what law gives you the right to do this? And so now they're challenging it. So all these tariffs might disappear soon, but they want to keep the tariffs in place. And so now they're talking about this emergency tariff law thing. But that emergency tariff law is like one that lasts only 15 days. So like, if they're like want to put tariffs on China, they've got 15 days of tariffs. I guess you could renew it. I don't know the details. I just know the basics of it. But it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, you can do 15 days tariffs on China? Like, you know, I don't know, electronics or something like this. I don't know, man. These dudes just be doing whatever. This is going back to what I say. There's laws and there's rules, man. You can't just be doing whatever you want to do. But that's exactly what they're doing. You know, and then Americans, they want to talk about like how corrupt other nations are. But it's like, yo, your president's out here just, he's just wilding. And let me be crystal clear. I don't think there was a better candidate for America than Trump up until he started wearing a little hat thing and started really going crazy with it. But up until that point, I was like, there's no better candidate. And I still wasn't a fan of him. So, you know, I don't know. This dude, he just be doing whatever.
Your shares lower today. It reported strong quarterly results after the closing bell last night. It makes software and has a lot of government contracts. Some investors are worried that AI-related stock prices might be getting too high.
There are two subtle issues in AI. What is the addressable market, and what is the addressable market for things that work? Palantir, we're in the...
What did I say? Where is the actual benefit? Like when see, the echo's gone. Why is the echo gone? Where is the benefit now the echo's back. I'm sorry, it's freaking me out. Where's the actual benefit to the average person? Like, there's a few markets I could think of. Like we talked about it, medical and security and whatnot, you know, where you could see applications of AI as a regular, like, you know, input thing. Maybe even cars. You know, where it's like it analyzes driving patterns and whatever else in your eyes so you don't fall asleep and crash into stuff. Although that's even dangerous. I'll give you an example of this. This car, I wouldn't call it AI, but it does have like programming for crash protection. You could probably call it somewhat of an AI. It predicts as to whether or not I'm going to crash. It can predict if I have my hands on the steering wheel or not. And it'll brake. So I'm driving down the Autobahn. As you know, the Autobahn has no speed limit. I'm driving down the Autobahn and I'm doing about 180. So I'm close to 200 kilometers an hour. We're in a turn, and in that lane, there's trucks. And in my lane, it's me. It's an open lane. There's nobody in front of me. I'm flying. Everybody's like, get out of his way. This is flying. Get out of his way. So I'm flying, you know, taking it easy. I'm not going really fast. 180 is not really that fast. It's, you know, it's really average on the German Autobahn. But it's fast when you're passing up a truck that's going between 80 and 90 kilometers an hour. So this car decides that somehow we're in danger while I'm passing. So we've got a guardrail on my left, like a steel guardrail, and we got trucks back to back on my right. And I'm flying around a corner. It's a curve, but opposite to this one, this way, at 180. And you know what it does? It slams on the brakes. It slams on the brakes, and I'm like, woo, because I wasn't expecting it. I've got my foot just on the pedal, you know, I'm chilling. I'm not going crazy, like I said, but in my mind, we're fine. And we were fine. But the vehicle's AI, its decision maker on as to whether or not we're in danger or not, decided we were in danger. And I'm assuming because we're in a curve and the sensors in front can't see around the curve, it can only see the guardrail and it can only see the trucks. And so it's like, oh, we're gonna hit something. And it slams on the brakes. You know how crazy dangerous that is? So even then, it's like I'm not sure I really want AI in everything, or even close to me in some things, like driving a car. That was exceptionally dangerous. Had there been somebody behind me, he would have whacked right into me. And it's not unusual or uncommon that in Germany, when you're on the Autobahn in the fast lane in an area or a section that has no speed limits, that people are close, maybe like this close at 180. Like that red car in front of me, that's not far. So I have to, not only do I have to drive looking at him, I have to look ahead of him also. I have to watch traffic for him and for me, because then I can judge and react according to what's in front of him. It's something you have to do if you're going to drive on the Autobahn in Germany at high speeds. And don't think that this is uncommon. This is normal that people drive at that distance at those speeds, at faster speeds. Because if the guy moves over, there's only a short window that he has to pass him. So you can't be like 15 car lengths away matching pace with him thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to pass him when he moves over. Because the guy might have like maybe 500 meters to a kilometer to pass. And if you're both doing 200 and he goes over and like maybe a kilometer down the road, there's a truck doing 80. Hey, you can do the basic math. You have to be close so that you can pass him. Because some people drive like 220, 240. You got guys with sports cars driving even faster. So, you can't afford to have that huge distance if you're going to drive faster than somebody else, or if you're driving fast and you want to pass. You can't have huge distance between you. So you have to watch. AI can't do that. Maybe it can in the future, but right now it can't. You need something like active LiDAR that can look like past that car and at the cars in front of it. And then you have to teach it like, driving models of humans, like how a human thinks and how a human who responsibly and, drives very well works. But it's like, yeah, anyway, I'm ranting. Let's get back to the news.
Business of a part of the addressable market where it works and it can be quantifiable, either commercially or on the battlefields. Every part of the stack is going to have to create more value than they charge. That's just obvious. And if that doesn't happen, it will be a bubble.
That's Palantir CEO Alex Karp on CNBC. The whole interview is at cnbc.com. Pizza Hut could be for sale. Its parent company is Yum Brands. It's looking at options. Yum also owns KFC and Taco Bell. Starbucks teaming up with Boyu Capital to run the coffee chain's China business. Starbucks has struggled in China against new competition from the Luckin coffee chain and others. Luckin already has stores in the U.S.
China's a bad
YouTube TV.
China's a bad market because the Chinese are very nationalist when it comes down to their businesses and economics. They've seen how the West in general has turned against them, from what happened in Netherlands with Xperia to the United States like turning against them with Nvidia. And so now China and the Chinese are like, yo, just screw you guys, man. I don't want anything to do with you guys. So it's like if you're fighting a Chinese brand in China, you're probably going to lose, or you're up against a very, very difficult you're in a very difficult and challenging market. This is why Volkswagen is failing there. I mean, I love my little Volkswagen, but Volkswagen and Tesla, they struggle to like get a foothold in the electric car market. Tesla is riding off brand and name alone. They still do half decent there, but Volkswagen's just falling off. You just can't compete with the Chinese in China. They are a very, very, very insular people. They take care of their own. They take care of their own companies. They've seen the West, like I said, turn against like what is it? The phone Huawei. They've seen them try to turn against Xiaomi. You're not going to make good ends or make good progress in the Chinese market if you're billing yourself or you're coming as a traditional and a long-standing Western company. Like if you're like a new Western company and you're not really known and you start establishing yourself from the jump in China, you probably will do better because you could probably get away with billing yourself as like a Chinese type company. But in general, they're very nationalist people, and I don't blame them because they're looking at the world turn against them. So it's like, okay, we better take care of our own.
Customers could not watch the Cardinals beat the Cowboys last night in Monday Night Football.
Nah, who cares?
The Disney ESPN channels are still off in a carriage dispute. Ferrari had a good quarter. It beat profit estimates. Mondelez revealed new Thanksgiving-inspired Oreos. USA Today says the flavors include turkey and gravy cookies, cream corn.
That sounds disgusting. You can only do this in America. Who's gonna eat a chicken flavored cookie? You gonna give that to your kids? A chicken flavor? Hey, little Timmy, here's a chicken flavored cookie. Who is that made for? I guess it's made for adults.
A listener production.
Terrible.
A large tumble for Aussie stocks on RBA and Cup Day.
And what did we learn from today's RBA decision and press conference?
All right, guys.
It's Tuesday the 4th of November. Welcome to